when I think of Oklahoma State basketball under Mike Boynton, the first thing I think of is all the cool recruiting stuff you do on social media. I mean, you are a killer on social media is this your idea? Do you have is it your marketing guy? Talk to us about Cowboy basketball and its social, because folks, if you haven't seen it, like when Mike will get a commitment or sometimes, or whatever it might be. I mean, you've been doing this for a while now since you got the job. And I know Brad Underwood, who you succeeded, didn't have these ideas because he struggles turning on the phone.
Yeah, I worked with Brad for 4 years. We weren't as creative in this aspect of things, but we've got a really good team here, really good communications and marketing team. My staff's really good. And what they know is, as a young guy, I'm pretty open to different ideas.
Yeah.
So they bring me some things sometimes that I'm a little hesitant about, but I feel like if it's going to help us get an edge, I'm okay with the discomfort. The only one I've ever turned down was my SID had this great idea of me doing a backflip into my pool.
Oh my God.
And first of all, I don't backflip.
Yeah, okay. There's minor details.
So that one was kind of off. And so other than that, whether we're driving up on a car or whether we're going to put some cool video out, I'm usually open to it. We like to have fun with it, man. This is a hard job, a hard profession. You got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy the moments that you get to have success. You got to celebrate those successes, small or great. And you got to not be able to take yourself too seriously. I think you've done a great job of that, as you were.
Well, I was just thinking, you made me think back to Ben Chulik, who was at Arizona most recently, and he was our marketing guy. And he's like, Coach, we got to have you on social media. And I'm like, hey, I'm one of 13 kids in my high school class. Okay. I'm not a Bronx kid, that had, a nice big, whole bunch of, I said, I know where they're all are. If I want to talk to them, I'll talk. I don't need to be on social media to keep track of people. So they're like, well, pick one, either Facebook or Twitter. And we want to kind of design this Coach Miles thing. So at the time, remember, it was 140 characters. Well, I thought you could only do 140 characters for the day. Like you just got 140. So like if you did 40, then you had 100 if you wanted to tweet again. Like
100 left.
Yeah. No. So I'm like, Twitter.
The all-time great things I've ever saw was your in-game tweeting game was pretty good.
So
I'm not sure I could do that.
And then they convinced me to do that, the halftime tweet thing. And the only time I got in trouble, really, well, first of all, if you lose, you're always in trouble, right? But the one time we were playing at Air Force and we needed to win this game and we weren't.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we're 11 of 13 on twos and 1 of 13 on threes at halftime. So wow. I'm walking out and the SID's got my account and he's walking with me. He goes, Coach, hey, we got to send a tweet. I'm like, well, isn't it obvious? We got to shoot more threes. And just being completely sarcastic, right? And one thing I realized early, sarcasm doesn't always play that well.
There's no room for sarcasm on social media.
Oh, yeah. But we did a season ticket thing where around Twitter, that everything was Twitter. And it was our biggest season ticket drive that they'd ever had. And it was, this is 2010, 11, stuff like that. So yeah, we were doing it, but you do a marvelous job. And, people don't realize how important social media is to recruiting, you know this. I talked to a kid we had committed when I was still the coach at Nebraska, said, hey, X, did you see us play the other day or last night? Yeah, God, you guys were good. Yeah. I'm like, man, did you see that, whatever play in what he goes, no, I just watch Instagram highlights, right? That was watching the game, right? That was watching the game.
That's watching the game. It's different. Your kids are so inundated with social media. They are missing out on a lot of things that's going on. And through the pandemic, we, as the adults in their lives, have made it worse because we've told them, we always talked about, I think for the last 10 or 15 years, kids are so too antisocial, all right? They don't hang out with people enough. They don't talk face to face. They don't know how to have conversation. Yeah. But for the last year now going on, we've told them, don't be social. Don't socialize at all. Yeah. Stay away from as many people as you can. Just go get your phone or your video game and lock yourself in a room and don't see anybody. Don't talk.
Yeah. So all that other stuff we told you about forever, it doesn't exist. I found out last night my son's on Reddit. I'm like, what? How are you get on Reddit? Like, what are you doing? You're 16. Like, who knows with the, I mean,
Hey, he's doing chores. He's got to find a way
yeah.
turn that
Well,
into
he's
profit.
yelling at me for not buying GameStop. I tell you that. So he claims he told me to. Yeah, right. So what do you use all mediums when you do, like, so when you're talking with recruits nowadays, the one thing I found very interesting in the last 5 or 6 years, which was, I used to just call kids and or text or whatever. Well, then, I mean, it's like, no, you got to FaceTime. You got to FaceTime. And then it's no, you got to hit them on IG, or you got to hit on Instagram, or you got to hit them on Snapchat. And I'm like, now come on. Like, I'm 50 at that time. Like, just give me one or two.
Yeah.
Are you using every medium known to man, or how are you doing it?
I'm not. I actually fought the social media deal for a while myself, and got on Twitter, I think in 2009. And that was good for me. I never really did Facebook. Twitter, I got really comfortable with because I could kind of keep up with the news and what was going on. Then I kind of lost my taste for that because it became like this, who's got the most offer announcements on Twitter today?
Hashtag blessed.
I literally just got into Instagram this summer because of the pandemic and not being able to go see people. And, my staff's like, hey, man, all the kids are on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll get on it. I didn't know until this past weekend that I hadn't been doing Instagram right. I'm not cropping my pictures the right way.
Oh, no. Yeah.
What's going on?
Literally, I've had people in my replies and say, Coach, we can help you with this. It's like, we can help you with this. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I don't know. So I just started Instagram this summer too. Coach Miles, right? Coach Tim Miles, I think this one is. And so all of a sudden, because, we have different music and different things that go on with this podcast, and I post them on Instagram, I get a direct message. You violated several copyright rules. Just type in your password right here. Oh, so guess what old dumb Timmy does? Just types it in there. Here it is. Now my account is in Council Bluffs, Omaha, used by an iPhone. So I finally went on Twitter and say, hey, the guy who hacked my Instagram account, could you please log out so I can change the password? I mean, like, I don't know what I'm doing.